Hey gang, year end, PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. Just wanted to talk a little bit about planning for next year and finishing up that concept we started a couple of weeks ago. Remember, let's talk about the job for a second and look at our opportunities. Number one, the job. When you walked in, you didn't have to have any sales experience at all. Zero sales experience, and they would teach you how to sell cars. The dealer had all the money invested. You had a desk, or at least a table, place to sit. Had all the background you needed. Managers were there for you. Everybody would process the paperwork. You received your money after you sold a car. So usually in the traditional sense, 25% of the yield of the car. So if you sold a car and made $1,000 in gross, you made $250 in your pocket with no investment other than your time. So it's a multi-billion-dollar industry that we get to be a part of without having to spend any of our money. And if the dealership that we work for goes bankrupt, we can move down the road and go to work at another store the very next day, so we've got no risk at all. So since the risk is taken out, let's make as much money as we possibly can, build as big a client base, and build a name for yourself in this industry. I wanted to show you a couple of things. Time management. This little time management chart, it's really interesting. It's numbers, ups and days you work a week, usually 5.5 days a week, and how many ups a week. So if you took 5 ups a day and you worked 5.5, then you can figure out how much this is. Then take the ups in a week, divide it by the weeks you worked in a year. Let's say you only took 2 weeks off, you worked a part of 50 weeks in a year. Then you divide that up, ups in a year. Current sales average, let's say you're selling 15 cars a month, 12 months in a year, that is 180 cars. You can divide these two numbers out of each other and you can come up with your real closing percentage. I think that a lot of us, when we look at this and we look at this real math, we would have told somebody we're closing at 30, 40, 50, 60%. Then we come down here and look at this and our closing percentage is less than 20%. And I guess closing and ups, relative term, let's don't talk about how many people did you talk to in a day about buying a car from you. I don't care if it was at a restaurant or if you're in an organizational meeting somewhere or you just casually talk to a friend that goes, yeah, you know what, I'm thinking about getting a truck in the next month or so. So each one of those, I call an up. And so the more ups that we call, and if we sell an average number of car, that's our closing percentage going down. And it's okay. I mean, if you make $100,000 a year and your closing percentage is 15%, I'm not crying. But what we need to do is we need to look at, am I talking to the right people? And if I'm getting 1 up a day and my closing percentage is super high, why am I only talking to 1 person a day? So there's an opportunity right here in the math. And I'm going to leave this here for you. You can play it back several times, but I would ask you to plug this in and be real with yourself and count every single person you talk to. Even somebody that says, hey, are they changing to the Sienna next year? My wife and I are thinking about upgrading our van. That's an up. Anyway, I want to go back and I want to show you this pretty quick. I like this. I got a little overzealous in this as I was putting this together. So I'm making $25,000 a year. Hey, this is an income that the population of America makes, $25,000. I'll show you. $500 a week, $91 a day, or $9.09 an hour. You say to somebody, hey, I started a job and they're starting me out at $9.09 an hour. I mean, nobody's going to look at you and go, that's the worst job in the world. I mean, there's better jobs out there, but people all over America work for $9.09 an hour, baby. Don't get yourself wrong. That's 15 cents a minute. Every time you go by the desk, they give you 15 cents. That'd be pretty fun. $50,000 a year, respectable. You can go out and buy a car, you can buy a house. Respectable income. So that's $41.67 a month. I like to break it down to $18.18 a day. Call your parents up. Call your friends up. Yeah, I just got a promotion, man. I'm making $18.18 an hour. They're going like, dude, that's a damn good job. But tell somebody you're selling cars and they're going like, oh, that's not a great job. That's $18.18 an hour. $75,000 a year, you're making $27.27 an hour. There's not a lot of people in America making $27.27 an hour. I'll be honest with you right now. That's an income that's absolutely not made in this country right now. I come over here to $150,000, which I know you guys want to be $75,000 and higher. I mean, with the hours we work and everything, I don't blame you. Why wouldn't you want to be $75,000 or higher? So I go 150, got a little overzealous here. That's $12,500 a month, or $54.55 an hour. So I don't know. That's just the math of your income based upon working. I mean, I put it in as at 50 hours, 5.5 days a week. So, I mean, some work more, some work less, but it's all going to wash out, and you can calculate what I need to do in order to make the money. So if I want to make $75,000 a year, then I need to make sure that each month that I make $6,250 in my pocket. If I have a $5,000 month, then I got to double down on the next month. So I've got to track this in order to make my income. Choose an income and get there this year. I guess as I want to clean this up and talk to you guys, there is a group of people that you sold cars to. Let's say you've only been in the business for 6 months. Let's say you've been in the business for 6 years. There are people that have bought a car from you that will return and buy another car. They have families. This country is loaded with families or partnerships or you know, people nowadays don't get married, but they live together as a married couple and they have children together. That's, to me, that's a household. Let's talk about households. How many drivers in the household and how many years until the youth in the family are going to drive? So every time you sell a car, if you sell, I don't know, 20 cars a month, that's 240 customers that you've put in cars for the year. That doesn't include spouses or siblings, and it certainly doesn't include extended family and anybody they work with or their friends. You are the most marketable thing in the whole industry. As a general manager, I can hire a group of people to sell cars, and if I work hard enough with them and I give them the support structure, they can make over $50,000 a year with relatively not much talent, because it just takes work ethic and being there, smiling. We got a great product, but nobody wants to make $50,000 if they can make $150,000. So figure out what you've done this last year and the last couple of years, or the first couple of months you've been there. What are the things that are non-productive? What are the things that you do each day at the dealership that make you zero money and advance your career nowhere? Talk to your owners. Sit down and talk to your general manager. I mean, the general manager is there to make the store better. Sit down and have a beverage with your general manager, or go out to lunch with your general manager and just say, look, you know, I'm not in this business for 3 months. I mean, this is a career path that I've chosen. Obviously, you've done the right things because look where you are. Give me a couple of things that I can do over the next couple of years that can get me to that next level. And don't take the answer, just get out there, work hard, and take more ups. Because that's what they need. That's what a manager needs, is somebody to go out there and stand out on that point and run after every single customer and everything. But that's not going to build you into the dynasty that you want. Ask them for real. If you were starting all over again, what are the things that you would do to make sure that you would return and become a general manager and one day an owner? And ask them those questions and be earnest about it. Be a full-grown adult in this business. There's a lot of people in the business who will tell you how great they're doing, but telling's not doing. There's so many of you out there that I know that are so talented. And I know you feel like the dealership's holding you back or the managers are holding you back. But think about this. Nobody wants you to fail. If you double your income, everybody around you is affected, especially the managers, the general manager and the owner. So let's make sure that 2018 is the greatest year you've ever been in the car business. Remember, we sell used cars. And if your used car manager's on the ball, you've got a little bit of everything out there so that somebody comes into the dealership can find something that's really going to be interesting to them. You've got certified cars, which have gone through your shop and your mechanics have signed a legal document saying this car is okay for your family to buy because I put my name on this document and you get a copy of this. That's giant. And then the last thing is, I mean, who's a better car manufacturer year after year, decade after decade than Toyota? Even people that have never driven our brand know that Toyotas are phenomenal and they'll last and they have great resale value. Turn those no's and maybes, and I got to think about it, into yes for 2018. And I hope this is the greatest year you've ever had. PK 52, completing another year. See you next year.